Hello, friends and family. Tonight's cup of tea is brought to you by me, of course, Kyle, or colloquially 9 Carat. Now, this blend is choc chip chai, and it is mint. Anyway, I told a bunch of people a little while ago, a couple of months now, that I was thinking of doing a bit of a video blog. I was blogging for a while there, and I don't know. When I write, I'm more of a poet or more of an academic and not really anything much in between. And so I thought, how do I kind of express myself in a way that is me? I don't know. So I thought, why not do a video blog? It's something really silly. And talk about the stories, the issues that, that come across me in my life and the things that I do. Little anecdotes and maybe share a bit of poetry. So this is going to be really awkward. This is going to be really silly. It's going to be really stupid, but who cares? Let's just do it. So I think for this kind of like first tea sipping episode of I don't know what the hell I'm doing in life, you really got to try it. T2, the best. I think for this episode, I'm going to talk about something that recently came up that I'm going to get involved in, and that is actually a play. And I'm really excited about this play because it's not so much about getting on stage and performing and the ego trip, that comes from that. It's the opportunity to kind of actually get out there to schools and introduce to a bunch of kids not only a story about Aboriginal people and the Noongar people who are in WA, but introduce them to actual Aboriginal people, and kind of introduce them to a realm that sits outside of this stereotype of an Aboriginal person, which is very quite negative or exoticized. And so I'm really excited about that because my understanding is I'm going to be working with a group, and the cast and pretty much the entire production team, as I understand it, is going to be Aboriginal, or at least people engaged with those issues. The entire cast is going to be Aboriginal. And it's including me, Darug Man from New South Wales. This is awesome. I get to be part of this. I get to tell a story, from another mob, and then I get to engage, in a really positive way with, children in schools. So I'm really excited about this. I think the thing that excites me most is, these kids. They're going to be the next generation, I think, that, whether it be in governance or, just in this, if they go on and run their own companies or if they go and become public servants, these are all, really good ways of engaging with the community. And, they might be involved in projects that deal with Aboriginal people, or they might be serving Aboriginal customers, and having an understanding of, the history of this country and how it affects us today and how very diverse Aboriginal people we are today, and that we don't necessarily have, the blackest skin. I certainly don't. That we're going through a process of cultural reclamation and how we kind of have to try and fit into this weird space in between two worlds, many of us. For a bunch of mob, they might still be very much living in remote communities. And in fact, they are living in remote communities and having to deal with, an entirely a separate but also at the same time overlapping series of issues that affect all of us. And for a lot of urban mob, like mine, who are Sydney, West Sydney, Blue Mountains, there are overlaps in terms of, health indicators, access to services and whatnot. And then, even racism affects us. And affects us in similar and then also, different ways. One example I might use is how, often people will question, my sincerity, of me stating that I'm an Aboriginal person. I'm a proud Darug man, and that's a part of my life, a very fundamental part of my life. And they go, how could you be? I get asked this all the time, and then, maybe it's well intentioned, but it stems from this racist idea that an Aboriginal person is a very certain kind of person, or that my mob were completely erased, which is actually not true. Very far from it. So I'm very excited about the opportunity, because I'm going to be able to go out there and instead of dealing with people who have already kind of all been institutionalized into these ways of thinking, I'm going to engage with kids, like children, as much crap as I give them in my personal life, because I love children, but I hate children. Definitely not like world's best father material. Children are just the most open-minded and think not just with their hearts, but also with their heads. I don't think we give young children, young adults enough credit in this world, and being able to kind of reach out and present to them these ideas and these, as an Aboriginal person, and challenge these notions that many of them are probably going to be brought up with, in their home life or in their school life, about Aboriginal people. Being able to challenge that is really exciting for me, because it's a little bit of, positive contribution that I as an individual can make, in this world where I think a lot of things are going to shit, So instead of like fighting some ignorant dweeb over the internet, this is kind of a better way of me fighting back, against some of these notions about being Aboriginal and a lot of the ignorance that unfortunately pervades the discourse, in public discussions in the public sphere, and in some ways, in very much in spheres like the academic sphere, where it's still, and in my experience, been quite a bit of an issue, as a university student, my university career, and in government as well, and so I'm pretty excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably, if I keep doing this blog thing, and assuming this is a test episode, so it's going to be interesting, because I'm going to have to edit this and whatnot, and I might fuck it up. So I might have to do this all over again. But the show's going to be running, I think, throughout the year, throughout the school terms. So, it's probably going to start one way and then kind of shape up differently, and in different schools be a very different kind of experience for me personally. So, on each individual occasion. So, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be exciting. We'll see where it goes. So I think I might leave it there, I think, for tonight, because I don't want to waffle on too much and bore people, but I think we'll have one last sip there, and I might read. I was toying with the idea of reading poems, at the end of each video. So anyway, no poems tonight, I don't think. Maybe I'll read a poem at some point. I gotta get better at reading off paper, because I'm really shit at it. But, hopefully this is good. Hopefully people, I'm doing this for friends and family. I'm not really doing this as a famous person. I'm not famous. I don't really want to be famous. This is just my little kind of, my little thing I'm going to do in my spare time. It's all about storytelling. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful night, wonderful evening, wherever you are. Love you very much. Take care.